In this lesson, I'm going to give you a complete framework on how to approach reading a book. I will outline it step by step. So, let's get started. Previously, I've told you that reading and memorizing are separate processes and should not be mixed. In this lesson, I will teach you exactly the right sequence for learning from a book. First step. Read the book. You start with actually reading the book. While you are at this step, 100% of your focus should be on reading and understanding the book. No underlining and highlighting while you are reading. You can put light marks while reading on the lines where you feel the content is important and worth noting. Please focus 100% on reading and nothing else. When you are reading, you don't focus on your speed. You focus only on your comprehension, understanding. In this step, you read at the speed which is comfortable to you. At this point of time, you focus on whether you have understood what you have read. For example, read this sentence. A man is sitting on a chair. A boy is eating at his desk. After you read this sentence, you have understood the meaning of it, and that is comprehension. If you have understood this sentence, you move on. The same is applicable to books as well. Next step, taking notes. You have finished reading the book by now, and it is time for taking notes. Take notes. In this stage, you can underline the text, highlight the text. You have already put light marks on the margins. You can make mind maps or any other style of note-taking which you feel important. I will cover mind mapping and other techniques in the future lessons. It is better you make notes in your own words. We normally use only keywords while making notes. I will cover different ways of taking notes in future lessons. What is enough and not enough depends on the person who is taking notes. I personally make notes with a specific outcome in mind. And the last step, memorize. By this step you have understood the text and made notes. Now it is the time to memorize the text. You can use techniques such as linking method, memory palace, and PEG method. The purpose of this step is to help you recall the information when you need it. You always learn from the book in the same sequence and do it in the same order. If you don't know what linking method, memory palace, and PEG method really are, please jump to the memorization module in this course. Now please remember this, no matter which technique you are going to use, you don't need to memorize everything. You memorize only which is important and relevant to you. And for technical subjects, you need to repeat this process after each chapter. Now, you might wonder what length of time is recommended to read in one sitting. Very good question. For this, I have 2 points to address. First, it has been found in experiments that our focus and concentration start to reduce after you read for 45 minutes. So it is recommended that you read for 45 minutes and then take a break for 10 minutes. After this break of 10 minutes, you spend 5 to 10 minutes revising what you have read in the previous 45 minutes. So read for 45 minutes, take a break for 5 to 10 minutes, and spend 10 to 5 minutes revising. The second point I want to address is, for most of the time, you can follow the previous rule. You can choose to break it in the following situation. If by taking a break you feel that it will break the flow, then you continue reading till you finish that chapter. In my life, I had many times where I had to sit to read for 3 hours without a break, and sometimes for even 4 to 5 hours, with 10 minutes break in between. I personally don't want to take a break if I'm totally immersed in the material. And I am sure sometimes you feel the same thing. The choice is yours. Now, if you encounter some difficult technical concept, I would advise you to do the following. First, put a light mark on the word, but don't stop reading. Continue reading the chapter. Second, once you have completed that paragraph or chapter, come back to that word and look for the meaning. Search it in the dictionary. In the vast majority of times, even if you don't know the meaning of that word, you will understand the meaning in general. If that word is repeated many times during your book, then you can stop and look for it. Before we end, here are some important points. First, if you are reading a technical book or textbook for exams, this process is repeated after each chapter. You read one chapter, then make notes, and then memorize it. Second, if it is a non-fiction book, then you can repeat this process after reading the complete book. Third, this process is ideal for learning from a book and getting maximum benefit out of it. You can modify the above process to suit your needs. For example, if there is a time constraint, then you can skip the taking notes step and move directly to memorizing it. Fourth, we haven't yet learned how to read properly or how to make notes or even how to memorize. Till now, we have been focusing on building a strong foundation for mastering these skills. And lastly, I am sharing this lesson to give you a complete overview of this process. So, before we jump into the next lesson, here is the action step for you. Answer this question. How are you going to apply this lesson while you are reading a book next time? Please take your time to answer to this question and then see you in the next lesson.